If I can have your attention, we're going to go ahead and get started and let Coach Walter start off with the Rangers. The high school seniors are here, and Sweatfinger's still eating, and they hadn't all got fed, so we'll let Coach Walter and the Rangers start off.
Hey, thank you guys. Hey, congratulations to you guys for a great year, and I know y'all had a lot of fun. So, congratulations to you guys. I guess we'll start with our game from Saturday. Play number 5 team in the country in Harding, and they come in and they're every bit of what we thought they were going to be. They controlled the football completely with 42 minutes of time of possession. If you were at the game, they literally sat there and waited for the 40-second clock, to go down to 1 before they snapped the ball. Literally every play. It was brutal to watch. I'm sure it was boring to watch. I was bored watching it myself. But we held them the least amount of points they scored all year so far. We also, gave them all they wanted too. Gave them all they wanted. We didn't. We started off the game on the 6-yard line. Got 3 first downs quick. Thought we were going to roll. Just couldn't get any rhythm going offensively. We only had 8 possessions of offense. 8 possessions. So to score 4 touchdowns and score 28 points, you got to score on 4 of your 8 possessions. To outscore, they ended up with 24 points. So to do that, we had to score on every other possession, which against the number 1 defense in the country, that was the best defense statistically in the country. Was a tall order, and we didn't perform well enough to do that. That being said, going into the third quarter, when it was 10-7, they go on a 9-minute drive to start the third quarter and score a touchdown. We come back and we get 2 first downs, and then we throw an interception on the slip ball where the ball slipped out of Reed's hands. He was trying to throw it away, and it just did not come out right. And they picked it. It was a floater. They picked it off. That was our first possession of the third quarter. Our second possession of the third quarter, which they go down and score off that turnover, which was really the turning point in the game, we thought. So it's 24-7. Then we get the ball back and we get a first down. Then we throw the quick screen to Ratio, and he's going down the sideline, and they punch the ball out from behind. The kid that caught him runs a 10-300 for Harding's track team. So the kid that caught him can fly. Caught our fastest player from behind. Punched the ball out. We turn over the ball. Our 2 possessions in the third quarter were turnovers. So if you're playing a team that good, that's plus, I think they're plus 19 in the turnover column, which is an unbelievable stat if you think about it. You're not going to win the game, and those were that third quarter was, I think, the turning point in the game. First half was very back and forth game, very defensive oriented, which you don't see very much anymore in college football. If you watch any games on Saturday, the scores are in the 50s, especially if you watch the Big 12. They don't play any defense. So I was really proud of our defense and how well they played against the option. Now we gave up 400 yards rushing still, all right, and that's the number 1 rushing team in the country. They're a playoff team, 10-0. Hats off to Coach Huckabee. That's his 31st year coaching. He's retiring after this season, and they're sending him off the right way, I'm going to tell you that. They had 22 seniors in their top 44, 2 deep, 22 seniors. So they were ripe, and they're ready, and they're where we want to be in 4 years, basically. With all their senior-laden team, really built it up. Had great conversations with Coach after the game. Very complimentary of our kids. And the biggest compliment that he paid, and this is the best compliment I think I've ever had as a coach. He said, the number 1 thing I see from your team is your kids care about one another. He said, that's so hard to do. Whether it's offense, defense, didn't matter. He said, you can tell that from an opposing coach's point of view, your kids really care about one another. And when I first took the job, that was the number 1 thing that I was told by the current players that I interviewed when I took the job. Hey, it's too splintered, offense versus defense, just guys not liking each other, pointing fingers, and that was the first thing we had to fix, and then everything else will come along. So that was a huge compliment for our kids, and they battled hard. We just didn't make enough plays against a team that's that good. That's by far the best team that we've played against in the 2 years I've been here, and one of the better teams I've played against at this level, at Division II level. And man, hats off to them, and they're the conference champs outright. And like I said, we battled, held them under their average. They were averaging 43 points a game. They only got 24. Heck, they held us way under 2. We were averaging 38 points a game. They held us to 7. So, defensive battle game, which I was talking to their coach before the game. I was like, I'd like to see a defensive game. I've seen a defensive game all year. It's just been offense. So, I guess my words came true, just on the wrong side. Just on the wrong side of that. So, like I said, it was a good game. I'm proud of our kids and how hard they played. Offensively, we didn't make more plays, and we didn't make enough plays to win the game. So, that's where we're at on the Harding game. So, before I move on to this week coming up, if you have any questions about the Harding game or anything that happened during the game, if you were there, please ask at this time. No? Is it boring? Watch that game? I was bored on side.
Probably the fastest college game I've been to, and I don't know how many years.
Absolutely. Hey, they had over 10 minutes of possession every quarter. Every quarter. You believe that? It's a 60-minute game. Over 10 minutes every quarter. It was unbelievable. I've never seen that before. So they knew what they were doing. They did a good job. They earned it. I mean, there was no us giving it to them. They earned that win. That was a great win for them.
How many fumbles do they have per game? It seems like they fumbled a lot and got them.
They fumbled 4 times and they got all but one. And then we got the muff punt. They muffed a punt. But not very many. They're plus 19 in their turnover. The problem with that offense is you want to play that offense in the rain. They really struggle in the rain. And fortunately for us, first quarter it's raining the whole time. We don't struggle in the rain very much. I mean, there were some of those drops. There was a possession where we dropped. Well, not possession, a series. We dropped 3 balls in a row. All right, one of them was Deshaun Gordon. Dropped one on first down, wide open. Then Arte Mira, one of our top receivers, drops a corner route on our sideline, and then on third down, Riley Hess drops the ball on an easy slant route. It's just 3 in a row. I mean, could the weather be attributed to that? Sure, a little bit, but usually we catch the ball well in the rain because you have to focus more. We even practice it, so we practice wet ball throwing. And then in the first drive, we complete a ball to Arte, first play of the game. Complete a ball to Horatio, second play of the game. For 2 first downs, bang, bang. Then we throw a ball to Jacob Payton. Well, actually, we run the ball with Jacob. Jacob gets 7 yards on the third play of the game. Fourth play of the game, he is wide open in the center of the field. We throw it right to him. It goes. I mean, it's high. But it goes, and he's a short guy. He's 5'8". It goes right through his hands. And he's wide open. There's nobody in the middle of the field. We run a little, what we call a jerk route. We jerked him up, and he's wide open. They don't even cover him. And we just didn't complete it right there. And we ended up having to punt after that. So just one of those things. The weather did play a little bit of a factor for us, but definitely for them too, with all their fumbles. But hey, when you're really good and you do things the right way, the ball seems to bounce your way a lot more, and they got all those balls that they fumbled. So, and like I said, senior laden team, they really understand what's going on, and very few of those guys were transfers. They were all high school kids that came up through the ranks, and you could tell they were built for this year. He had a plan, a 4-year plan. He'd been there for 31 years, but he knew when he was going to retire, and he had this set up, and he even talked to me about it. So. Hats off to them, and hopefully good luck to them in the playoffs. I hope they go far. So, any other questions? All right. Well, this week we got the hated rivals down south. I don't know what to say other than can't stand them. Can't stand them. Just from the jump. Last year. They did a pretty classless thing on the opening kickoff and got a personal foul for what they did. If you were at the game, dropped one of our guys over the Gatorade deal, and after the whistle, and then the very next play, they're going in to score, and they basically pick up Jordan Norris, our corner, from behind, 80 yards behind the play, and target him and hurt him. Very, very classless thing to do, and I got him on film, and we're streaming it all week, so our guys remember that, on our TVs in the locker room. So a lot of bulletin board material for those guys. Last week, their offensive line coach got kicked out of the game for another pretty classless act. They kicked the offensive line coach out of the game, which rarely happens. You got to do something really stupid. So got nothing good to say about him. Nothing. So from top to bottom, they're very classless. Coach allows it to happen, and that's on him. So he's got to live with that. He's got to live with the things that they're doing, and I wouldn't be that way. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it the way they're doing it. I wouldn't never. So anyway, that game's at 5:30. If you remember, also last year, Reed's in the middle of the field doing his warm up. Their entire team comes out on the Ranger and stomps on the Ranger, led by their coaches, by the way, with just Reed in the middle of the field. All the rest of our guys were in the locker room at the time. So again, another example of how classless they are. So anyway, no love lost there. And then they call me in the middle of the week and tell me that the game time is moved back to 5:30. So you guys know the game time's at 5:30. Not 5, I believe, as it was on the original schedule. So the game time's at 5:30. And they called me to tell me that they're going to celebrate the 1996 National Championship team, which I was a redshirt freshman and I was at the game, a part of. So it basically unleashed a lot of anger in Coach Walter by telling me they were going to do this. So, our guys will be extremely motivated. This is a game we need you guys at the game, not listening to it, on the radio. No offense, I'm going to get in trouble for that one. I know who my wife is. I'm going to get in trouble for that one. I want everybody at the game. Everybody needs to be at that game. That game is going to be something else. We got tied records. Right now, if we win the game, we'll have the best record in Division II in Oklahoma by the best record against Oklahoma schools in Oklahoma. Including UCO and Northeastern, which will be a good thing for us recruiting. So it's a really, really big game for this program moving forward. Again, the game's at 5:30 down there in Weatherford, and it's going to be a very eventful one. It's their homecoming. Again, they're celebrating that 96 team, and that's their senior day. So we're going to spoil all of it, and that's the goal. So, but again, we need you guys down there being loud and rowdy, and anyway, it's going to be fun. 20 years ago, I remember that game like it was yesterday, and it was a tough game. We ended up losing, I think, by 7, but it was.
Played next week, right?
Yeah, we played 10 days later.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Played them twice in 10 days.
First, the playoffs right after.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for this one. Cannot wait. So keep me up at night, just ready to go. Juice is flowing already. Feel like it's game day right now. So matter of fact, I got a call from our AD about their AD wanting to move stuff around for our warm up because of their mass ban, and which is just another log on the fire. It's another log on the fire. They're trying to basically push us around, and that's not going to work. It's not going to happen. So anyway, anybody got questions about them? No? All right, we'll be at the game. Come to this game. No. Come to this game. Come to this game. All right, thank you guys.